2021 has been a year for many of us, and it's time for some positivity. I'm going to share with you my favourite creators who produce great entertaining and/or thought-provoking content. Some of these people I've had the pleasure to talk to. I'll be sorting this into categories that I mostly associate them with, but that doesn't mean said category is how they would describe themselves or is the only thing that they do. First up is commentary. Willie Mac Show truly spits facts and is the top tea channel of the year. Of all time. The #1 tea channel. Obviously. I see no lies and he absolutely demolishes each topic he covers. It's a no-nonsense experience to view Willie's content and gets right to the point. I've also spoken to Willie and he's a really chill guy, easy to get on with and chat to. Ali at Truth Sleuth brings the receipts. She makes information clear, concise and easy to understand. I've also talked to Ali and she's a very kind and empathetic person who was extremely considerate to me during a tough time. Petty Page isn't a commentary channel. She's a one-woman detective agency. Just look at her Daddy's Girls TikTok videos. They are academic pieces of historic importance. She's proven to be open-minded and able to evolve as a creator and as a person. I myself have disagreed with Paige on certain things, but with Paige, it feels like it's okay to disagree because it's all about being open to discourse and debate. Ready to Glare Julia covers a lot of tough and dark topics that do need to be discussed, which demonstrates her strength. Themes within some of her videos can be emotionally taxing and distressing to research and talk about, so I give Julia great props for that. Now we're going to move on to streamers. YouTubers who just happen to stream rather than making videos. Xylee is a good friend of mine, and both publicly and privately, she's that slap in the face that gives you a wake-up call that you need. There's no sugarcoating things with Xylee, and she slays with logic as her weapon of choice. The Hailey baby is honestly so cute and bubbly. She obviously adores what she does and is so much fun. She's a needed break from serious and/or sad topics and news. Tipster's just a stand-up guy. He's sensitive to those involved in more serious news and is fair in his coverage. He's also displayed an openness to different opinions and criticism. Tipster has also really been understanding and has stood up for me when I needed it, and I appreciate it so much. Now let's go into YouTubers who delve into media like books, TV shows or movies. Mike's Mike is on this list purely due to his immensely iconic near 2-hour-long Pretty Little Liars deep dive. It was incredible and it should be viewed in every university-level film and writing course. The absolute dedication to a relatively irrelevant topic is commendable and impressive, and I'm living for every second, and it's low-key why I did my Sylvanian Families deep dive, because going so hard and researching that much and explaining that much about a topic that really doesn't matter in the long run. Again, I'm living for every single second. Mike's quotability is also out of this world. I quote him at least 5 times a day. Speaking of Pretty Little Liars, Serena Skyborn's discussions and breakdowns are so thoughtful and easy to digest. She goes over individual characters and plot lines in a way that even those who haven't watched or read the media discussed can totally understand. Shiran J. Zhao? I am so sorry to all the Chinese and my ancestors. Like, real bad. Sorry. Shiran is truly out here carrying for all Chinese exposure and for Chinese cultural education. They are lao shit. Outfits on fleek. Research bulletproof. Ability to write mechas into a fictional version of Chinese history. Solid as Stonehenge. My dear friend Jessie is doing for Jews what Shiran is doing for Chinese empresses. The knowledge of scripture is off the charts. They also do their own media reviews that are in depth, communicating their praises and critiques with ease. And Mank Peter, who is my partner of 2 years, and from obviously knowing him and talking to him, I know how hard he works on his content. He's really passionate about what he does, and he makes it as entertaining and funny as possible. He likes a lot of sci-fi things, Doctor Who, Red Dwarf, and a lot of 80s, 90s content and media, which he talks about. He does a lot of things to do with more recent stories. He does narrations. I think he's a really good chill and laid back channel to either watch stream games or listen to talk about a specific TV show or movie or gaming franchise. I think it's something that, again, you could just listen to, just to take away from any seriousness of the world. And yeah, I might be a little bit biased and stuff, but genuinely he does work really hard, and I think he deserves more recognition for it. Moving on to lifestyle, and I really love Toxic Tears. Kaya is simply adorable. She is so sweet and upbeat, and I've been watching her for the longest time, and there's just something about her that's so charismatic and enjoyable. She's going through a really hard time right now, so to send her some love and support would be amazing. I think my second recommendation is also going to give you the idea of what kind of lifestyle YouTubers I watch. Emily Boo, I love you. Just if you ever watch this, I love you. You are, again, so sweet and so pure. Both of these girls are such great representation for the goth subculture. It's really nice to see. And Emily does some really great anti-hauls, and she tells people the truth about what she thinks about certain lines, certain brands, certain products. She promotes much smaller and ethical brands and calls out brands who have been doing unethical things like art stealing or unethical labour practices. And I think that's really great. Art YouTubers. Thumin, light of my life. I was first drawn to Thumin's videos because her art style is unique. I've not seen anything like it before, and she's so unafraid of trying new things or trying things that other people haven't done before. Even if she gets backlash for it, she stands by it and what she believes in and what she does, and that's so great. The videos, again, are well produced and well articulated, and as a person, she's been one of the most supportive people and caring people to me, and subscribe to Thumin. Omnia is funny, witty, talented, and speaks their truth. If you watched any of my previous videos, I don't know if it will be the video before this or maybe 2 videos ago by the time I post this, but Omnia's channel was actually recently deleted. They do have a new channel now, which I will be linking in the description. I'll also link alongside their old channel in case they do manage to get access to that back. But genuinely, they have such good takes, and it's really entertaining and enjoyable to hear their perspective. Mally Malware is a new entry into my YouTube viewing experience. Again, I really like their art. It's not a style I've seen before, and I think it totally suits their personality. I think her content is also really balanced and fair, looking at all sides, and that's really good. It's generally a really interesting watch to see Mally's videos. Calimara. Their art is so insanely cute. Just look. Look, they even drew me as a cookie. It's so... I'm not even going to be able to get into like a detailed explanation of their content and their personality, even though they're such a lovely person, because I can't get over the cookie. Maybe in future videos when I talk about recommendations, I'll be able to come back and be like, okay, yes, I can actually articulate, Calimara and what their content's like and their personality, but just look at the cookie. The cookie is all you need to know. It's so cute. Subscribe. Crime. Molly Westbrook is really good at what they do. She's really good at managing to take bits and pieces of information that might be spread out across many different sources and putting it all together in a coherent video. I didn't actually know about the Ellie Butler case until Molly Westbrook covered it, and I think she's one of the only YouTubers, if not the only one, that covered such an important story, especially based on the outcome of said story. If you don't know about that, then You can check out my video, that's either going to be the one before this or the one after this, about social services failings, and I'll also have her video linked in the description of that video. Ellen Anil also covers a lot of different crime stories, and she also tends to pick stories that people haven't heard that much about, which is really good because there are a lot of criminal cases and crime stories that just don't get enough attention. She's also extremely thorough and constructs her videos in a very easy and understandable way, adding in a lot of details that you wouldn't get if you just read a couple of articles on the topic. That is 20 creators that you should show more love to in 2022. Definitely do that. Check all of these people out. I've tried to include different genres like commentary, media coverage, lifestyle, art, all of those things. You're sure to like at least a few of them. So definitely check them out if you haven't before. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!